Welcome back everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 6, Episode 13 of Eldritch Horror Masks of Nyarlathotep. We're going to jump into turn 15 here. And as you guys know from our last episode set of turns we did, Nyarlathotep has awoken. We're at 0. We've got an Eldritch token. If the omen track reaches here, it's over for the investigators. And we still have a number of things to do. We have 3 Mythos cards left. So that is functionally like 3 turns left. So let's see. I don't want to think through it too much. Let's see if we can squeeze these 3 turns in. And otherwise, it's the dark one will awaken. So, quick shout out, Necromancy of Nyarlathotep, Book 1 of the Disclosure from the Necronomicon fragment. Equally grim stuff, but with some lights of hope that some of the Lovecraftian fear about the undead and the undying, sleeping Cthulhu, things like this, the necromancy of the cosmic horror of Nyarlathotep, is kind of offset if you think of it from a point of view of Atlantis and things like the Emerald Tablets and stuff like that. So very interesting topic. Jump into a little bit of something for everyone, a bit experimental, definitely cosmic horror related. Check it out. Supports the channel. Appreciate your help. Also like, subscribe, share. Helps our channel grow. Hopefully we can get to some live games at some point. Let's jump right into turn 15 with Danielle Reyes. She's gone ahead and she will go ahead and use her she will go ahead and get a boat token, I believe would be a good move for her. And I think she'll need to she needs to do a research encounter, right? So let's have her try to get, actually we can have Calvin do a research encounter as well. He doesn't have any clues, so let's have Daniela do one too. She will get a ship token. She puts it back, and she'll go 1-2 to do this research encounter here. And that's her action. Next up, we will have the charitable father, Mateo the Priest. He will use his ship token here. He can go to 1-2 Buenos Aires. He also will he got that additional boon condition that we can pull out from the box, and he can share that with someone as well. So he has a boon condition. We've got bane conditions. We got boon conditions. And the boon condition he got is when you perform a focus action or a rest action, gain 1 focus or recover 1 sanity. So that was his boon condition that he gained. So he can also give that to, I'll hold on to it for now. I guess I'll hold on to it for now. And he is going to have an encounter in Buenos Aires. He will also, can he heal? Grab a resource. I think he's all set. Next one will be Calvin Wright. Calvin Wright will, again, we need to get some more clues. So let's go up to Heart of Africa for Calvin Wright. And he will have a research encounter there. He will also heal. So he can heal extra, I believe, too. So with his card, it can gain sanity and health back 3 or 5 and 7. So okay, so he's doing okay. Okay, so let us go ahead and jump into our encounters phase. First off, we have Danielle Reyes with a research encounter to help close off that mystery. She is in a city space. You try to translate an ancient Egyptian text that instructs the reader on the creation of defensive wards. She gets to roll her observation check, and she can re-roll a die when resolving a test as well. She passes. If you pass, you are able to replicate a ward that was used in times of old to hide the viewer from the sight of the Dark Pharaoh. Gain this clue and discard an Eldritch token. Well, that's great. That's helpful. So she gains the clue, she discards an Eldritch token, and she will place the clue on this active encounter here. Also, Father Mateo now just has an encounter in Buenos Aires. So he goes to Buenos Aires, and you find a Kaluka's lair and his arcane secrets. Gain a ritual spell. A ghastly Wekuf appears and speaks to you. And then he can do his quite augmented influence roll. And he passes. If you pass, it grants you a gift. Gain 1 random trinket asset from the deck. If you fail, it steals your thoughts. Okay, so you can gain an asset and gain... Okay, so we will reconcile those. Next, we have Calvin Wright. Calvin Wright will go and do his research encounter. Calvin Wright's research encounter in the heart of Africa. An elderly woman living in the woods tells you of her lifelong struggle against Nyarlathotep. She says that she is too old now to continue the fight, but she would pass on her knowledge to you for a small sum of money. Gain this clue with a debt condition. Right, so we gain a debt condition, gain this clue, and improve will. So he improves his will, he gains a debt condition. He gains a debt condition, and he improves will. So he will place this also on the top here, and it says, when there are clues equal to half this, we complete this adventure. So let's turn up to the next adventure. The second adventure is the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. The investigators lead you to the Mountain of the Black Ward. When this card enters play, place an adventure token on the Heart of Africa. When this adventure is completed, draw the Bloody Tongue. As an encounter on the Heart of Africa, you may fend off the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. A cultist monster ambushes you. Okay. So there's a cultist that appears here. A cultist appears here, and we can fight him, basically. So I believe I can just fight him immediately, right? So as an encounter. So I think we have to wait till the next turn. So that's fine. We can wait till the next turn if there is a next turn. Let's see how the Mythos cards treat us. So that's going to wrap up the... so we're on part 2. Maybe it's not so bad. Let's check out the Mythos card. Collector's Gift. So first off, we advance the Omen to green. Do we have anything open with green? No, we do not. Okay. If not, advance Doom by 1 for each gate. We don't have to, so that's fine. Next is Monster Spawn. So we will spawn monsters on the 2 open gates. So that's 2 monsters per open gate. So first off, we have a Deep 1 hybrid. Second off, we have a Mummy. third, he has a spawning clue there. Next up, we have a cultist. And then finally, we have another cultist. Okay, so let's, they all have spawning here. So let's see the mummy cultist. When this monster spawns, move it to the pyramids. This cultist says, when this spawns, use the cultist information on the Ancient One's sheet. You gain, so when you fight the cultists, you basically gain a condition, an Eldritch token. So that's the difference here. Okay, so and then we spawn 2 clues on the board. 2 additional clues get spawned, and they will be on San Francisco and also on space 19. Space 19 is 19. Okay. All right, so let's read Collector's Gift. It says, you thought you had made an impression on the elderly couple. Even after your vivid tales, they all seemed uninterested in helping you. And now you hold their gift sent from halfway across the world. What could possibly happen to them? What could have possibly happened to them? So we get this gift from a collector. Each investigator may gain 1 resource or spend 1 resource to gain an asset. Okay, so let's get some resources. Maybe we'll have someone grab an asset too. Let's have Calvin gain an asset. He'll spend a resource to get an asset. And he gets a private flight. Private flight, when you gain this card, immediately move to any space of your choice and then discard this card. Okay, so maybe I'll have Father Mateo get this instead of Calvin. We'll just like switch that up. So Father Mateo, instead of being stranded down there, let's have him move to San Francisco. So he moves to San Francisco. He takes a flight from Buenos Aires. When you get it, it says when you get it, immediately move this card to space and then discard it. So that was cool. Okay, and that's it for the Mythos card. Collector's Gift. Well, this has got to be the greatest Mythos card ever. Okay. Okay, so that was the end of turn 15. Let's just keep going because that was kind of quick. Let's go into 16. It's turn 16 now, and we have Danielle Reyes. We have to again place Eldritch tokens on the card based on cultist encounters. So let's go ahead with, so I guess Calvin will stay here in Card of Africa. So let's have him do healing. He will send, let's see, she has 7 and 4. He'll send he's got 6 and 7. So let's have him send her a mind just to help out. And then he will rest here. I don't think he can rest because there's a cultist. Okay, so that's fine. But he also gets an additional action. So let's have him... what else can he do? Get a focus and get another resource to start out. Okay, so I think that should be enough. Okay, let's go ahead and then also there's Father Mateo's moved, Danielle. So let's start with Danielle's. Has she gone anywhere? I didn't move her. Let's have her go do this research encounter. She can gain that clue. So, she will take a research encounter and go ahead it's in wilderness. You find a dying Yithian that was left for dead by the cult of the sandbat. You know that you should put the doomed creature out of its misery, but at the same time you've learned much from this watching this. You may advance doom by 1 to gain this clue and 1 additional clue. Well, I don't want to advance doom at all because we're really on a rush for time, so I'm just going to skip it. Father Mateo, on the other hand, he will jump in and have an encounter in San Francisco, in a expedition. An important treasure was buried beneath the ground in the hull of a decommissioned ship. Resolve the pass effect to hire a guide to find the ship. So yeah, he will hire a local historian, and he can make his influence check, which he passes. If you pass, he takes you through a passage to the ship, and you gain 1 artifact. So let's have him gain an artifact. And I will make sure it's a theme-based artifact, so it only will be one from Masks of Nyarlathotep. So I'm just going to go through until I find one. Just looking at those bottom icons. So he gets the hemisphere map. Item, once per round, during the action phase, you may move to an adjacent space. So he gets an extra move out of this, which is cool. I think that'll help us to be all on the same square, I think is one of the final conditions. Okay, so that is Father Mateo. We move the active expedition to London. There's also an encounter here that he can do later, but that's fine. He's done the 1 encounter. Lastly, we'll go to Calvin Wright. He is going to fight this cultist. So the cultist, he has to fight. His mind is equal to the number of Eldritch tokens I have. He doesn't have any. And so then he can just roll a strength attack, which is 5 plus these. He gets 2, able to kill this cultist. And that is his encounter. As an encounter in the heart of Africa, you may fend off the cult of the bloody tongue. So first there's the monster, but now he can also have another encounter. See, that was in his encounter phase. So I think he can fight a second cultist. So if I defeat him, I gain a token, and now he's here still. Let's have him fight another cultist. And again, second cultist is defeated. So that moves the active mystery into 3. Let's go. Cult of the Bloody Tongue attacked in transit. And now we're in 3. The God of the Bloody Tongue. Within Morero's cavern, the ritual is being performed to birth the spawn of Nyarlathotep, the messenger of the outer gods, and Meru calls upon the Bloody Tongue to defend it. When this card is put in play, spawn the God of the Bloody Tongue epic monster on the heart of Africa. Okay, so we've got to find the Bloody Tongue monster and spawn him in the heart of Africa. And then it says at the end of the Mythos phase, so this is completed if we solve this. So let's find the heart of the Bloody Tongue monster. Children of Yig. No Bloody Tongue yet. God of the Bloody Tongue, epic monster. You can see that. It's quite frightening. That spawns now here. So now we're on phase 3. And I believe he can face that in the next encounter. I think that's how that has to work. Okay, so that will be it for Calvin Wright. We are on the second to last Mythos card, the Rival. It took only a little investigation to realize that you were the one that sabotaged your equipment. Until you can purge the destructive element from your mind, you must stop giving in to the tools that will destroy you. Okay, first off, we advance the omen. And we look for gates. And when the omen advances, advance doom for each gate that corresponds. There are none, right? And then we go to resolve reckoning. Effects on reckoning. So the first reckoning will be the Shoggoth. Monsters increase their health. The reckoning for these monsters is no reckoning for the cultists. That's fine. Danielle Reyes, does she have a reckoning? No. Father Mateo, does he have a reckoning? He does. He has a hallucination, and he has a righteous condition, and he has a messenger. So let's go ahead and go through these one by one. First off, not a 1 passes the messenger roll. On a reckoning, I flip this card. You feel invigorated as you burst into the room. Cult members scatter in all directions, but the authorities round them up. Advance the active mystery by 1, or gain 2 clues. Whoa, so what does that mean, advance the active mystery? What's the advance the active mystery means? So active mystery is 2 now. So we actually have both of our mysteries solved with this. Yeah. So we're kind of like this is closed off. So we have 2 active mysteries. But maybe Calvin can fight that monster anyway. Guys, what do you think? How does that work? So advance the active mystery by 1. That means what it means, right? Or gain 2 clues. Yeah, so that means we have 2 mysteries solved, right? If you have 2 mysteries solved and the investigators are in the same place. So let's just get Mateo and Daniel together, and we'll have Calvin go meet them as soon as possible. Right? So yeah, I think that's the key there. So let's have that. So this mystery is fine. And then last one, we test mind for Father Mateo. So he's got, again, 6 here. And he passes the mind, so no need to flip the card. Lastly, reckoning for Calvin Wright is the reckoning of glamour and the markings of Isis. So he tests also. His lore passes. And then finally, I suppose we still do the investigator gets Eldritch tokens in half. So I'll give them to Father Mateo, who I believe is able to use them to re-roll, and we'll get rid of them that way. That is the reckoning phase. Any reckoning here? No. Okay, reckoning complete. Next is spawn a gate. The gate spawns in the heart of Africa with an additional monster. That is not good. So we will reach into our bag and get a cultist. So there's a cultist as well. I've dropped all these monsters on the floor. Okay, so shuffle that one in. Okay, so spawn a monster on a gate. And where's our Mythos card here? Okay, so the rival says, event, each investigator may discard any number of items, possessions, or spells. Then each investigator loses 1 health for each item possession they have beyond 2, and each spell they have beyond 2. Okay, so this is down to 2 and 2. So we have 2 items. That's a talent. It's not an item. So Daniela has 2 items. She has no penalty. This is going to be a big one, though. So Father Mateo, he has a hemisphere map, which I think he'll keep. He's got this item tome. When he spends a focus, he can gain a focus. He's got a spell. He's got King James Bible. I guess he can ditch that. And he keeps his perspective condition. He keeps his talent condition. And he can keep his free the mind condition. And everything, and they can keep his ally. But other than that, these are all gone for him. Unfortunately, he gave up his Bible because it wasn't cool enough. And then Calvin Will's the same. He's got Eye of the Darkness that he will keep, a unique asset, and he will keep his Spirit Dagger, maybe, and he'll keep 2 spells as well. And he keeps his Perceptive. Okay, so he also discards a number of items. He keeps his Dark Pack, unfortunately. Okay, so now he's down to 2 and 2. Nobody suffers any damage. So that will be the end of the Mythos phase. And we're down to our last Mythos card. So after this, if we can't win, we are going to get to play a final Mythos card. So let's keep going. It is now turn 17. Turn 17. We've got Danielle Reyes. And we'll have her move down 1. And then she can use a train ticket to move to San Francisco. She'll put her train ticket away. We'll have Father Mateo. He will go ahead and he will also give his boon condition to Calvin Will. So he has a boon condition. He can give it to anyone. He will give it to Calvin Will. And when he performs a focus, he can get a focus back. So that is fine for Calvin. And Father Mateo will also let's have him also heal, so he can rest here. So it's 4, 5, and 3, 6, 7. So he doesn't have to rest actually. So Calvin Wright will fight this God of the Bloody Tongue. So Calvin Wright versus the God of the Bloody Tongue. So let's get into it. I think I'm going to go right to that one first because that's the more telling one. So let's have him fight that. So it's 3, 4, 5 plus his Spirit Dagger. 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. So first of all, his will is 4, 5, 7. It's high also, and his will passes. Next, for his strength, he will fight. This one has 5 power, so we go 1, 2, and then he can re-roll with focus 1, 2, and he can get his focus back. So let's have him re-roll. And he gets another one. And then finally, I believe I can reduce 1 monster strength. I can choose a monster to only have 3 health. So I've passed it with the 3 health. So because of my power, so I will move this resource here. So the Cult of the Bloody Tongue monster is completed. This whole stack has been completed, so we're technically done with 2. But that leaves Calvin to fight the cultists. This adventure is completed now, so I don't need to spawn that. Okay, I don't have to spawn that. So I think the only thing I can do is try to race Calvin to a position. Let's see if they go 1, 2, and he goes 1, 2. I don't think we're going to make it. I think it's going to be like a photo finish that we don't make it. Okay, so that is the end of the encounters phase. I think he maybe has to fight this cultist as well. Let's just have him fight the occultist as well, because there's 2 monsters on the screen. So he will... if you fail the test, you gain a corruption condition. So his mind test is quite high. He passes. His strength test is even higher. He kills the cultist. And then he can have an encounter, I guess, to close the gate in the heart of Africa. Why not? Close the gate in the heart of Africa. City of the Great Race. On a high stone shelf, you find books containing the wisdom of both the distant past and the far-flung future. Unfortunately, the tomes were written in a strange curvilinear symbol. Try to perform a test. Let's have him use a focus to re-roll 1 die. He passes. If you pass, you decipher, and you close this gate. After you return, you forget your time at the Great Race, but you're plagued by strange dreams. Roll a will check. If you pass, you gain the clue. So I gain this clue as well. I can just keep it. And that is the end of the encounters phase. Let's go on to the Mythos phase. Last Mythos card. And then I'm just going to place our final Mythos. I'm going to shuffle these up. And I'm going to put one of these at the top. And we can see what happens next one. So we've basically taking this Mythos off. We leave final Mythos here. We just use the last one. But this says prophecy fulfilled. We advance the omen. Each time, when the omen advances to the red space of the omen's track, the investigators lose the game. So I think that's it. The investigators lose the game. Let's just go ahead and, as you see, there's a little difference here between the Mythos cards and the final Mythos cards. Let's just go ahead and read the last Mythos card from the top, and we get the place beyond. Look, the symbol is the death symbol. Where is everyone? The air tastes of iron. A kneeing wind, the only sound. Numbness creeps over your body, and all colors and light bleed away as though they had always been nothing but a mirage. Gradually, even your panic fades, leaving only the maddening loneliness of darkness, the place beyond. End the Mythos phase event. If the investigators have not won, the investigators lose the game. This is the first time I've gotten to play one of these. We've made it all the way through the Mythos deck. We were so close. I'm going to talk about it in the post game, I think. But look how close we are. If we had two moves. We needed 2 moves to get on the same space together. And then we could have used the closing argument of the Eye of Light and Darkness and the unique assets. We've closed everything. We're not on the same space, though. Oh well. But that's it for our investigators. Let's go ahead and read the a failed. So we also have our final forgotten endings, we call them, forgotten endings. So these are the Nyarlathotep custom rule final endings. Let's just go with the card number 1, Nyarlathotep Doomsday. And it reads, The Laughter of Nyarlathotep. On January 14th, 1926, Pena, Hithin, and Mivara and the offsprings of Nyarlathotep began a ritual that lasted 8 hours. The triangle for and by the Black Wind Peak, the Grey Dragon Island, and the lost Puaket was filled with catacombs, earthquakes, typhoons, huge tidal waves, and tornadoes. The continents shifted, forming the template necessary for the arrival of the ancients, which awakened in the mythical centuries that lived in the depths of the planet. Supernatural forces shook the world. A solar eclipse blocked out the light over the Indian Ocean, and attentive observers could see at this moment a flash from an exploding rocket. A black hole appeared in the seething sky, gaping the interstellar blackness. To the loud laughter of Nyarlathotep, the gates windowed. Through the large laughter of Nyarlathotep, the gates windowed, and through them, colliding and accelerating, fell the offsprings of Hastor, Klinga, Shub-Niggurath, and the children of Cthulhu and other ancients to regain the dominion over the earth. Wow, the laughter of Nyarlathotep. Cataclysm across the globe, but then that kind of a rocket launches and forms a black hole, and the elder ones are just pouring out of the sky under an eclipse. Amazing ending. Sorry, investigators, you've lost. But hey, great game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will do a post-game wrap-up. I'll give you some thoughts on it. They're usually quick, but we'll check in on that after. So you can check the link for that at the end. Love to get your thoughts on the game as well. And talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.